It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. That's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, fellow Notre Dame family and friends. I gotta tell you, man, I'm enjoying this off week. I am enjoying this off week so much. It just feels like Notre Dame. I was ready for it. I needed it. You just had to beat USC and get there, right? I don't know about you guys or where you're at, or if you wanted to play again this week or whatever. Personally, I kind of needed this week. Just the intensity of where everything has been so ratcheted up. And after the two losses, you knew that USC thing was coming. And you knew that if you didn't get it, everything was over. Like you still you were still gonna have 5 games, but be realistic. Look at the 5 names of the 5 teams, and then you're out of the playoff hunt. It's a death march to Granny's table at Thanksgiving. So I don't know where you guys are at, but I am thoroughly enjoying just being able to kind of take a deep breath, relax a little bit, just refresh your mind, your soul, your hairline until we get into this final push. So here's where this leads. What's up, coach? Welcome in, everybody. If I, like a halfway Notre Dame media member content guy, am exhausted and worn down and ready for a little mental, emotional break, I can't even imagine how much the team needs it now. And here's something really interesting. By the way, Jay Carr, thank you for putting the link there. Johnny boy, I'm going to create the next iPhone. I figured out how to pin the link to the top of the chat. Johnny Tech. If you would like to join the show, use the link, join, click audio, allow audio. Friday, I want to do with no Notre Dame game. Friday, I really want to get into breaking down the upcoming games that are going to be coming up Saturday, who we want to win and lose, what's intriguing for different reasons around the country, whatever else. Today, whatever you want to do on this break, I'm fine with. You want to talk about Notre Dame's little recruiting burst here? Fine. If you want to, I just said we're going to talk about the games Friday, but if you want to talk about Texas A&M LSU, that's fine with me. If you want to talk about Texas A&M LSU, I'm fine with that. We could talk about that. The other thing is, I'm finding it fascinating how some of these schools are navigating their head coaching problems. Some of them firing people really early in the season, others kicking the can down the road. There's some other interesting vote of confidences from athletic directors. I've been thinking about all the different ways you can navigate a problem coaching situation. And I just think it's interesting, institution to institution, to see how each of these schools navigate these coaching situations, who gets fired, who they hold on to, wait till the end of the year, whatever. I find it very, very interesting. Marcus Freeman is a wanted man. That is on my list. That's on my list. However, that is tomorrow's video coming out Thursday morning, is all about the angle of all these fan bases wanting Freeman, thinking their school could get Freeman, all that kind of stuff. And so I think this is going to be an interesting episode tomorrow. So I don't want to blow all of that now because it's the only focus of tomorrow's show. And I don't know if Notre Dame fans are looking at this the way I am. And I've got a lot of questions about it. John, how do I connect wireless earbuds to my phone? Don't you do, even I can handle this one, Craig. Get with the times, bro. How do you connect wireless earbuds? You got to do Bluetooth on. Then it should be able to, you should be able to see the devices connecting to the Bluetooth. And then you click the one that is the name of your headphones, and then you got them. Look at this. Craig's making me feel like a genius. Even I know how to do that. Even I know how to do that. Dr. John. Good morning, Dr. John. What's going on? What's the good word? How do we know? Mark, you are audio only perfect right now. Mangoes. I see Terrence getting set up. Yeah, Mark, I'm showing no video microphone on. So whatever you were doing, you're on it. Yeah, Mark, whatever that is now, you're perfect. So wherever you guys want to go, we could go today. This is just a comfortable little midweek breather in the off week, and we all need it. And what I was going to say is, if we all need it, I can't imagine this football team and the build up to USC, all of that emotion poured into knowing you had to beat USC, and the way the guys were flying around with intensity all night. They need a break too. Physically, they need a break. Mentally, they need a break. Emotionally, they need a break. And I'm telling you, the number one person that I want to get this break and use it well, I think it's CJ Carr. I think CJ Carr is going through it a little bit here. And I think he could use this week to reset and calm down. I'll tell you, the USC, especially early against USC, some of them shorter throws he was missing on. I felt a little, I don't know what to call it, a little bit of the moment getting to a redshirt freshman with all this. I felt that. Maybe you disagree, but I thought I felt Carr pressing a little bit in this moment, which is natural and normal. You got through it with the win. I want that guy to have some time to just kind of process everything that's happened so far in the year and be able to get himself in a good mental spot for whatever's coming next. Mark, I see you. Mark, I know you're set up. You could do video. Keep it like that. That's totally fine. Yeah, I could do that. It's just, you guys got to understand. I was thinking about this last night. Somebody asked me why everybody that does the StreamYard, I'm not comfortable having on the video. It's not that I don't trust your guys' judgment. It's that all it takes is, like, you're working from home and your kid gets out of the bath or something and runs behind you with no outfit on, and before you know it, my channel's gone. Like that is literally all it takes, is like some accident with something in the background that's not allowed to be there. And then before you know it, I'm in trouble because that's on my stream and it's in, something they don't want to see, like that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, Jay Carr wears do-rag. John, just don't have any Penn State fans on. Yeah, man, they're going through it, and I don't feel bad for them at all. But they are fighting it. But where is this? Let me go find this. Here we go. Maddie B, 156, reporting for duty here in Southern California, still Irish country and not even close. I got to tell you, man, Matt, we put on a hell of a tailgate. Notre Dame seemed to recognize we put on a hell of a tailgate, and a bunch of people sent it to me and asked me, where's the video or the promo thing Notre Dame did for the tailgate we had with the Orange County Alumni Club? It's on Twitter and it's on YouTube from the Notre Dame Alumni Association or the Notre Dame Alumni whatever account. So if you want to see that, I posted something on Patreon about it this morning. But it is on Twitter with the alumni Notre Dame official Notre Dame alumni account. So it is on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter, it's all over. And they did a really nice put together little capsule of our day. And Matt, I got to say, you did a wonderful job when they interviewed you about what this all means and the work you guys do out in Orange County, like for charity and bringing people together. Matt did a great job getting interviewed, talking about all the people we had there from all the different states and everybody that wanted to be a part of it. Absolutely fantastic. And it went so well. There may be more of these kind of combo things coming. So stay tuned next season. Met so many new people. It was absolutely unbelievably. It was so fun. I realized I do those tailgates usually for like Purdue, Central Michigan, Miami, Ohio. I try and do earlier in the year, generally speaking, so we know we're going to have warm, good weather. And then also it's more affordable. People could bring families to those earlier games, although Purdue was priced as a premium game, which rubs me the wrong way. USC brought an entirely new wing of always Irish people out from every different corner of the country that I didn't even know. So many people showed up. I'm from all over, and you don't know me, but I'm here and I want to say hi. It was beautiful. So anywhere you want it, you could get it. You could find it. But Matt did a good job being the maestro of that whole thing. Wonderful speaker. When asked about what this all means, great job by everybody. We had a great time. Yeah, it's the ND Wine Mixer. You got to be careful when you invite that always Irish crew out into that alumni quad. You don't know what you're going to get, but we had a good time. We had a good time. And so, yeah, I'm wondering, listen, man, here's the other thing. These USC people, what a bunch of crybabies. Twitter is full of all these USC people trying to say Notre Dame should have been penalized 10 other times and the fix is in and we got burned by the refs or whatever. Bro, I know Notre Dame was holding and grabbing in the secondary a lot. But didn't we have 8 penalties for 96 yards and they had a measly 1? Isn't it kind of hard to complain about a disparity in penalties when you had 1 and we had 8 for almost 100 yards? Now, I am going to say this. If you rewatch the Price kick return, you could have thrown a hold there. You definitely could have thrown a hold there. But here's what I'm going to say about this. If you really watch it when he's right on the sideline in that cluster about to burst out, there's a guy kind of turned sideways. You could have called hold. But here's what I'm going to say to this. Before that happened, USC missed 2 tackles they had on Price. And that is the price you pay, literally the price you pay when you don't make those 2 tackles. Before you get to the part where a hold could have been considered to be called on that kick return, USC missed 2 tackles where they should have had him. And so if you want to play that game, we could play that game. But like, you had 2 chances to tackle that guy in open space before something bad happened. You didn't do it, and you paid the price, literally. And that price was a total change in momentum and Notre Dame seizing it back with the touchdown. Absolutely, there was a horse collar on that or a face mask or something on that first Love long run. But these USC people crying, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and they're going through it, and it's really interesting. I've been consuming. We're going to go to your streams here in a second. Yeah, that's the other thing, Sly. Allowing a kick to be where he could even return it is a problem already. So they messed up 3 different things they really screwed up before you even get to where a hold could have been called. And here's the other thing. I've been consuming a lot of USC media since that game. Brian, I'll get to that. Yeah, Andrew, you're absolutely right. It's about Lincoln Riley made a bunch of bad decisions, quite frankly. Kicking it to Price is a huge problem. And then also getting too cute. He got way too cute, man. So he outthought himself with some of the cute stuff he did, and it burned him. Too bad, so sad. See ya. Welcome back to California, bro. Johnny, are you going to do a Saturday show, or are you taking the weekend off? Wife's birthday. So we're on the bye week, wife's birthday. So we're going to see how things go. I don't want to promise this. In an ideal world, we do a live watch stream where I'm live watching LSU Texas A&M. If this is going to be the beginning of the official end of the Brian Kelly era, a part of me wants to watch it live with no Notre Dame stress. And we watch it and see what happens together, drink a couple beers, and we just comment on the game. And if Kelly starts winning by a lot, I'm just going to end the stream because I'm going to be in a bad mood. I'll just end it. I'm being straight up with you. It's like, John, isn't that immature that you would live stream the game, and if it doesn't go the way you want, you just burn it out? Yeah, I don't care. If I'm available, I'll post it, and we could do that and watch it along together and have a few drinks. And then if Kelly's winning by a lot, we'll just turn it off. And if he's losing, we'll enjoy it together. So I don't know, man. It's and so we'll see how the plans play out for what we're gonna do. Wife's birthday, Notre Dame's not playing. You're kind of like out of excuses, right? Like you're kind of like, you get what I'm saying? It can't be like it's an official regular work day like most Saturdays, right? John and I are brothers in pettiness. My pettiness level regarding college football knows no bounds. I am dead serious. When it comes to this college football stuff, I am so petty, and I do not feel bad about it one bit. That's a part of how this all goes. So, welcome in, welcome back. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it, subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni out as well. Notifications on, you don't miss a thing. Twitter, search bar, always Irish, or always Irish Inc. Emails, always irishhead@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. Yeah, big recruiting news, the offensive lineman, and that's on my list too. On my list too is a bunch of recruiting news, and what a weekend for Notre Dame to have all those guys in town, other than the weather. Like you did, if that matters to anybody, you didn't really show them the best weather in South Bend, but my God, the energy in that stadium and the electricity for a rivalry game, and for you to come back and win it, you couldn't imagine a better scenario to have all those guys there to see what the Notre Dame culture is like. Unbelievable job. Good job. Listen, it's a give and a take when you host a whole bunch of top recruits for one of your biggest games of the year at home. That's a risk reward. And if you fall flat on your face and there's no energy and everybody's miserable, that's the vibe those guys get being in your building for that game on a recruiting trip. And if you deliver and you perform well and it's exciting and the crowd's in it and you feel that energy you had Saturday night, man, that could leave a really lasting impression in these guys. And Notre Dame did a great job with that. The visitor list is... Are you noticing like the cut of guy that is around for all this stuff is slowly getting raised? The guys who want to be here and take these visits, the level of where they're at, till they commit to Notre Dame, a 5-star becomes a 3.5-star overnight. It's a conspiracy. JFK all over again. It's a conspiracy. I'm telling you, the second they hear a guy is leaning Notre Dame to a 5-star, no, that's a 3.5-star guy. Better knock him down, bro. What? It's just, I'm serious. Somebody who's smart with the tech and the numbers and a math guy should look at where all these guys are at before Notre Dame starts to get mentioned and then measure where they end up. You're dropping like dinner plates off the Titanic on their journey to the bottom of the Atlantic, bro. Grassy Knoll Johnny. With my name, I'm a little uncomfortable talking about all that stuff. It doesn't end well for us. Doesn't end well for us. Notre Dame on SI. You can read all about it. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. Listen, man, we got a Raw is up. All of the offensive breakdown with Jared and Mike is up. This morning, the first half of USC is up with Goolsby and Hyde. Oh my God, we got it going on over there. All-star team, link in the description. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. Join us for the playoff push, baby. Before I get into the bringing you guys up, I wanted to circle back to something I was saying. I've been consuming a lot of USC media and LSU media and Penn State media and Florida media and Florida State media. Like, there's a lot of interesting things to go over right now. So I've been checking out the USC stuff. They are pretty humiliated about getting ran over the way Notre Dame ran them over. And they're saying the same thing we've been saying. This was that measuring stick to be able to truly show USC is different. They're built different. They're put together different. They're a physical Big Ten team, whatever it is. It just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. And they are very upset. And it's just beautiful to see. And then the other thing is they have a bye as well. And just think about, people are commenting on that dinner plates off the Titanic. I'm just thinking of when they show the ocean floor with the submarine and you see all the plates and the glasses and everything that went all the way down and are sitting down there at the bottom of the ocean in that journey. Anything heavy sunk to the bottom right away. I don't know why that's in my mind. I like the historical stuff. Yeah, Petrus was really upset with Lincoln Riley, and he was saying, for a USC guy, you got to appreciate this. He was saying, if you're even thinking about canceling this game and your USC's leadership or coaches, this is a USC guy saying, who do you think you are, that you're a Johnny come lately into this rivalry that's been going on like 100 years? And you think you could go in there and with the swipe of a pen, eliminate this beautiful rivalry because it better suits, your win total in the new Big Ten or whatever? I got to give Petrus a lot of credit. He's a USC guy, and I saw him on that podcast ripping the USC people for even thinking about doing this. And he even said what we've been saying. Notre Dame's changed nothing. That is the irony in this whole USC debate. Notre Dame has changed nothing. We are the one constant. Nothing with us has changed. You wanted to jump in the Big Ten, make more money, have a bigger profile, be in that power conference or whatever, and all this stuff you wanted to do. Guess what? There's going to be downsides to that. And the travel and the schedule might be one of them. And you signed up for that, and you got to deal with it. You signed up for that. You got to deal with the travel. I don't want to hear you cry. And even the part of when this game is played or whatever, Petrus is like, Notre Dame is Notre Dame. They haven't changed anything. You want to start changing stuff, that's on you to figure it all out. The second all these changes happen with the mega conferences, especially the West Coast teams joining the Big Ten, I was writing articles saying there's going to be downsides for these teams. There are plus sides with the money and the profile and all that, but there are bound to be some downstream challenges and negative effects. The travel's one of them, and whatever else, you got to deal with it. You signed up for that. You signed up for that. So I don't know, man. It's really, really interesting. And so I don't know what you guys think about that. I don't know. It's interesting. So USC's going through it. They're upset. They're miserable. They thought this would be different. It's not different. And it's a beautiful thing. So let's do a couple super chats. I want to see what else is on my list that I wanted to go over. We went over maybe the Texas A&M LSU thing. Let me do a couple of these chats. We'll get this going. We'll see what you guys I want to see where your minds are at on the off week here. $5 holler from the rotate. Will preseason national champions Poverty State ever beat a Power 4 team? Man, it's got to be excruciating. Like, your season's already ruined, but then to lose to these teams you have way more talent than by like a point every week, they're really going through it, and it couldn't happen to a worse group of people. It genuinely, I feel there's no sympathy in me for these Penn State people and their media and the way they acted, the gaslighting that took place all summer about them, and they were all on Franklin's a better coach than Freeman, even though Freeman beat him, and then they fire Franklin, and then they want Freeman. It's hard to imagine these people. It's a weird place over there. Brian Crawdaddy. John, you did not do enough to warn LSU fans about Kelly. Trouble is brewing. This is some breaking news. I recorded something very specific and intentional. And when Brian Kelly gets the third loss, it's not if, it's when Brian Kelly gets the third loss, whether it's A&M, whether it's Alabama, whether it's Oklahoma, whatever it is, when he gets the third loss and he's officially knocked out of the playoff here, the second that game goes final, you better tune into my channel because I got something for you. And it's probably going to ruffle feathers, and that's the whole damn point. So wait and see. Yeah, Nikki Dean, you're going to do a Saturday show, taking a weekend off. We'll see. We'll see what the birthday plans are. My main man, $5 holler. Hope you're all enjoying the week off. What do you think about Rudolph and how awesome the backup O-line played? Yeah, it's just unfortunate that you're down O-lineman now, multiple. You're down Rubio for this final stretch. Truly not ideal. Genuinely not ideal. And so I don't know. It is Renee, you're funny, man. Renee's funny. I love this. So, okay, you guys, let's see what you guys want to get into. And the other thing is, man, I got a sick kid at home, up all night, home from school, sick. We're going to the doctor later. We got problems over here on the off week. So we'll see how long you guys want to go, what you want to talk about. And so, yeah, Martinez, that's fine. You could just listen for the day. That's totally fine. And the other thing, you guys, the LSU media thing is amazing. This is the last thing before I get to you. It's amazing for me 4 years down the road to log into LSU stuff on YouTube or whatever. And every single comment I see, you could input Notre Dame's comments about Brian. It's a chef's kiss, unbelievable. Every single thing they're complaining about, it's word for word, every single thing we complained about. And you could change the logo on all the comments from always Irish, always LSU. It's the same thing. It's so entertaining watching them go through it. And they know that it's like, these Notre Dame people look like they were right, but we don't want to admit it about what's going on with Kelly. They really want him gone already. It is hot. And you know what it is? When you lose the LSU fan base, you're in real trouble. That's the takeaway I have. That is a unique fan base with a unique culture. And when you are the head coach and you lose that LSU fan base, I think you're in real trouble. You're in real trouble. Now, they got this game at home against A&M, and that's going to be interesting. We're going to see how that plays out because it is a home game. Usually a loud crowd, whatever, but it's going to be a little weird given the vibes. So let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Mark with glasses, are you ready? Let's do this, baby. Mark with glasses. What's going on? Good morning. What's up?
What?
Do I got you?
Am I on?
Yep.
All right. Am I on video or audio?
Oh, your audio. You were both. You could do both.
Well, I'm on YouTube.
There you are. You're on. I got you.
What? All right.
I got you. You're good. You're up. You're live.
All right. Yeah, I want to talk about the defense mainly. The last 4 games we've dominated 4 really good offenses. I think we've only gave up 5 touchdowns in those 4 games. I got Post-it notes up on my computer screen that I'm looking at. So, but I'm making the argument that Chris Ash is doing a better job coordinating than Denbrock past those first 2 games. I think it's, kind of remarkable the turnaround they've done. They've got, I think it's 14 turnovers. Is that the real Tim Hine?
Yeah.
No. And 12 interceptions. And, and then I think you pair that with, having one of the highest offenses, you kind of get where we're at. But I think, Chris Ash definitely is turned out to be legit.
So, Mark, let me ask you, are you fully bought back in on the Notre Dame defense? Are you totally cooled on Ash? You don't tune into the games anymore, waiting for something bad to happen on defense? Like you're back in?
Yeah,
fully?
I'm back in. I mean, we've got the 28th scoring defense in the country, and I think there's a lot of stats. We're one of the best rushing defenses in the country. I think the passing defense has been giving up yards, but you look at all the interceptions they've been getting lately. So I think I am a Chris Ash fan, and I thought he sucked after 2 games, and it's funny because I thought that last year after 2 games with Riley Leonard, I thought that guy sucked, and now he's on my Mount Rushmore. So. How quickly things can turn around. But I want to talk about the remaining schedule. The final 5 games, I found this stat crazy. The teams we play have a combined 6 Power 4 wins, and half of those 6 wins are against each other. And if you think that's bad, 6 of the Power wins are against teams with losing records. So this is a definition of cupcakes, and I think it's kind of disappointing. We're kind of gearing up for the playoffs, and we've got this 5-game slate that's garbage.
Do you have any concern at all about the Navy Pitt corridor?
No.
Do you when I look at those 5 games and I try to honestly assess them, I kind of, if Notre Dame allows it, the Navy Pitt corridor could be tricky. Notre Dame has way more talent than both, but more established programs, all that stuff. But if Notre Dame messes around, I think those 2 weeks could be a little tricky if you allow them to be.
No, those shouldn't be games at all. Look at who's Navy's beat. They've beat teams we've never heard of. They're 6-0. Hopefully they get ranked just for that aspect, but that shouldn't even be a game. And Pitt's the same way. They haven't beat anybody with a winning record, and I'm not concerned at all about it. Nor should we be. If we're a legitimate operation, give me a break.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think that if Notre Dame wins these 5 games, they're in the playoff? Or do you think Notre Dame needs to impress in these 5 games? Just winning them isn't enough, and you need to blow people out and make it really lopsided every week. Maybe not against Navy because people understand they shorten the game. But, do you think 10-2 Notre Dame's in, or do you really have to pile it on people in the back half?
I think they're in, and they are going to pile it on. We saw that. I don't know if it was the NC State game, but one of the last couple games, they had Love in the game late in garbage time. And I think they are going to try to do that. And and I think there's going to be a concerted effort to get Love to New York in this stretch too. And one of the other things I want to talk about is I'm kicking myself for not going to that damn USC game. I was on the fence back and forth, and damned if I do, damned if I did go. But
the funniest thing is when you text me and you go figure, the one tailgate I miss and it wins an award.
That's
You're like,
why
there's some irony there, John, that the one I'm not at instantly wins the tailgate of the week.
Yeah, that's the only reason why you guys won it. But I like what a game, and Jeremiah Love is the best running back Notre Dame has ever had, and that was kind of his masterpiece. And that's the most rushing yards a running back had in Notre Dame Stadium. And the fact that those guys went, Tom, Phil, all those guys got to see that game, and then I got it written down here: 512 games in the history of that stadium. And he could have had more. He could have had a shit ton more rushing yards too. So I think he's generational. We've never had anybody like him. I think looking at those 5 games, there's no reason that he shouldn't put up huge numbers.
Yeah. And Mark, that's the other thing I've been thinking about is you really want to get into this playoff while you have Price and Love and just see how it goes. Like, you understand you put yourself in a bad spot early in the year, but what a wasted opportunity if you weren't even in that tournament when you have these two guys. And the other thing, Mark, is you knew you were going to lose Love to a top 10 pick. Price is playing himself into the top few rounds of the draft, or maybe the third running back off the board. I'm starting to think, I used to think a month ago, maybe you could pay Price to stick around and have that as your lead guy. He may be playing himself into the draft as well. So Notre Dame, you got to take advantage while you have those two guys, squeeze into that playoff, and then see what happens and just let it all rip.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think Price has gone way up this season with what he's been doing. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Let me check my post-it notes.
I got one more question for you. Any CJ Carr concern? He's leveled off a little bit. QB rating not that high in this last game, whatever. Is this just a part of the new quarterback journey and he's pressing a little bit in his first full year? Or do you think there's more there to worry about, or he'll be fine, this is natural?
I'm not really worried about it. I mean, we're one of the top scoring offenses. I think he's 4th in the country yards per attempt and 7th yards per completion or something. So he's pushing the ball, something that we've been asking for years. I think I heard maybe it was Tim Hyde or no, Jared Clark. And I hope that guy sees the feedback. That guy's awesome. But he was saying that Carr has a little bit of he thinks he can make every play. Prime example, when you're on the 2-yard line, you drift all the way back to the 25 and throw that horrible pick. It's like he thinks he's Baker Mayfield and he needs to kill that play halfway through. I'm not worried at all. And I kind of saw Goolsby tiptoe on the line on Raw. I'm not there yet. He's still legit.
Yeah. It's man, I think he can really use this week. I really do, to just kind of reset his mind and relax a little bit. I really do. Mark, anything else, my friend? Thanks for joining.
Yeah, just one last the Freeman stuff. I say it all the time, and it's probably annoying, but again, only 4 schools have more wins than Notre Dame since Freeman's been our coach. So if that means overpaying him to keep him, so be it. We had a big game problem previous to him being here. Now only Georgia has more ranked wins than us. And you're seeing the recruiting, how recruiting's going. 26 might be a historic class. So, and I know I'm a Freeman homer. You probably can see my painting up there. Shout out Tony. Tony gave me that. But yeah, these rumors and stuff are getting annoying.
Yeah, tomorrow's video coming out addresses all of that directly, and I want to know if you guys agree or disagree with some of my takes on what I'm going to put out tomorrow. Fun video to put together all about this topic. Mark, love you, buddy. We miss you at the tailgate, but we'll be back. There'll be plenty more tailgates to come.
All right, shout out to the chat.
Have a good one, Mark. People were saying Mark has glasses. What's that? Mark with glasses has glasses? I never would have figured. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. Tyler, what's going on? Welcome to the show. I never would have figured. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. Tyler, what's going on? Welcome to the show.
Hey,
What's
Johnny,
up?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I heard myself on the delay. Somebody turn that guy's voice off. What's going on, man? Good morning. Yo.
Hey, I'm here. I had to get my AirPods going because I don't want to have you echoing in the background. What's
I
up,
don't
man?
blame you. Hearing me the first time's bad enough, let alone having an echo.
No, all good. Dude, what a great win. One thing that I'm taking away from this weekend, this rivalry has to continue. Like, just the emotion, the passion, the pageantry between the two programs, the amount of times that we've played each other, it just would be a complete disgrace if we don't somehow get this together and keep this going. And not only for the next 2 years, but this needs to be a yearly rivalry. That's what I got out of this game.
Yeah, man, it's so unique, so intense. And the thing that's special about it to me is it's not just the football, but it's the competing value systems and the way of life between Midwestern, Northern weather living and all the LA thing. Like, it's such a culture clash. It's the epitome of what college football rivalries should feel, look, and be like. And man, just because they decide to join the Big Ten or whatever, it goes away. Like, come on, figure it out. Figure it out.
Totally. And I've always said to my brother and my family that we watch Notre Dame so closely with, the only reason our independence would ever be in jeopardy is if things like this continue to happen. The scheduling is going to be the only thing because they're not going to keep Notre Dame out of the playoff ever. It's already at 12. It's only going to expand. They want a brand like us in the playoff. It's just going to come down to scheduling. But then you look at, the SEC, I think it's the SEC's new scheduling where they said you got to play at least one or two from a Power 4 or Notre Dame. Like, we're always amongst those conversations. Like, hey, you got to play at least one Power 4 or Notre Dame, which is good for us. But it just, I don't know. How can you watch that football game on Saturday night and think, yeah, we just shouldn't do this anymore? It just has me feeling the wrong way.
Yeah. Okay. So then let me ask you this. We're in agreement that you want it to continue and whatever. And of course we're saying that now. We're all in a good mood because of this win, right? Like right? Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, yeah. But here's my question for the Notre Dame contingent. Does that mean that Notre Dame should acquiesce to any request that USC has about when to play it, how often to play it, where it fits in the schedule? Like, we want it to continue, but does that mean that we should just do whatever they want, that they'll agree to in their world to make it happen? Or there's some red lines you think Notre Dame should draw about this? Maybe it's when we play them in the year or whatever. Like, I don't know. Should we just do whatever they say to keep it going? And then we have to adjust because they want to change their way of life?
It's a really good question. It's a really good question when you look at things. And when you look at the boxing side of things, you got an A side and a B side. Floyd Mayweather was always the A side. Notre Dame will always be the A side. So I think we're walking this fine line of, hey, we want to continue this. We're willing to bend a little bit, but are we going to bend the knee to you and just give you exactly what you want and we play this every September? I don't think we need to do that, but we're also the ones that are independent. We make our own decisions. They have this Big Ten, conference lingering over them. They got to go to them and say, hey, Notre Dame is wanting to do this. Can we do it? So in my eyes, yes, we do hold a lot of the leverage, but there is a point where it's like, okay, we can't give you everything just to keep this schedule or this rivalry going. Like, we're willing to move a little bit, but we can't give you everything.
Yeah, it is one of the best things about this whole USC Notre Dame recent game is Lincoln Riley wanted it and needed it so bad, man. You could tell this one meant a lot to him. He knew this was his chance to truly change the narrative. And instead, it reaffirmed everything you always thought about modern USC. If you could run the ball, play good defense, you could beat USC. And I love knowing Chad and him flew back to LA so pissed off and miserable. They had to have it to change the narrative. And instead, it's the same old, and it's beautiful to see.
Yeah, you said it after the video. I mean, as much as the pressure was on us in terms of the playoff being at risk and the whole season being at risk, you could tell they didn't like that rain. They didn't like the way the game was going. They were getting bullied, and it did. It proved everything wrong about USC and that program that he has going. Not to say that he's a bad coach. I think he's a good coach, but just the way that he's built the program, it's got major holes. But let's get off USC for a second. The playoff, man. I'm trending towards the fact that if we win these last 5, we're gonna be good. I don't know if we're gonna get a home playoff game, but I think if we end up, and you said it in another video too, the thing that they're gonna say is Notre Dame is one of the hottest teams are on a 10-game win streak. That's gonna be what they say when they put us in, regardless of who gets left out. That's what they're gonna say, and I think you've been nailing these points on these videos, man. If we were gonna lose any 2. If you told me at the beginning of the year, you're going to get in the playoff, but you're going to drop the first 2, I think I would take it.
Yeah, if you were going to lose 2, you did it the right way, having it be the first 2 games by a total of 4 and 2 teams that currently have national respect. Although, does that Miami thing make you nervous, man? Because it could get dangerous here. You almost wanted them to be undefeated and then like a one-team ACC bid, like clearly them. 2-loss Miami's bad, really bad, I think, because it opens up all sorts of options of other teams being in the ACC title, and then they have a 2-loss tiebreaker with you. So do you either want them undefeated or drop into 3 losses and then you move ahead of them, or what?
Yeah, I think for A&M and Miami, it has to be they've got to be 1 loss or 3 loss. If you've got either of them at 2 losses, I just don't think that that's good when you're comparing apples to apples and looking at resumes, especially A&M with an SEC schedule. It's inarguably going to be harder than our schedule looking back at it. So I think we're in trouble if both of those teams are 2 losses.
Yeah,
that's where I could see it being a problem.
Yeah, it's man, this is going to be it's going to be an interesting stretch run. Do you have any thoughts on Texas A&M LSU this weekend? You want to talk about games that have Notre Dame intrigue across the board. It doesn't get any higher. Check all the boxes for every reason, personally and practically, right?
I think it's just lining up absolutely perfectly. We're coming off of a insane rivalry win, playoff hopes squarely in our hands. And we're on a bye week. We just get to sit back, watch the carnage. Hopefully Kelly just absolutely fails face forward again, just as he has time after time. I mean, for him to go to Vanderbilt and lose that game, man, LSU just not going to stand for it. That fan base is crazy. They are not there. And what's interesting too is now you're starting to see, they're like, yep, all these Indy fans told us so. Now they're starting to buy into the fact that we told them how this was going to go. They didn't want to believe it year 2, year 3, but here they are year 4, and they're saying, damn it. Like they told us.
Yeah, it was and you know what, man? LSU is one of the few places that honestly has earned those high standards. Haven't the last 2 or 3 coaches all won championships recently? There is a pedigree there, and once you lose, the LSU fans, you're in big trouble. It is a unique football culture down there. Once the head coach loses the fans, it could get really ugly. And now you got a weird home game with bad vibes after the Vandy thing. And it's A&M, a former employee of Kelly, just like Lee was last week. Like, there is intrigue across the board on this one. And I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's in LSU, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how this game's going to go. I don't know who's going to win. I hope that A&M wins for our sake and Kelly's, demise. But it's going to be a good game. I mean, I think it's going to be a good game. Is it a night game? I'm assuming as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so it'll be a good game. We'll see. A lot of interesting matchups though, man. This week and the next week, you have so many teams that are either undefeated or one loss. They are just going to keep knocking each other out. We just got to stay steady, stay consistent. And dude, I don't think that anybody is going to want to see us later with this running game that we have, and CJ he'll get through this little bumpy patch that he's on. We all knew this was coming. He's a tough kid. He's good mentally. He'll be fine. So just get us in there, and I really think we could be dangerous. As low as we were after 0-2, sitting there on these shows, just contemplating everything.
Man,
Dude,
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. After those 2 losses, and you everybody wrote you off, and it was looking dire. Now you're thinking, if you could somehow back your way into this playoff, and it feels kind of like a bonus because of how the year started, then you go into the playoff and you absolutely go for it and let it rip. You hold nothing back, and you're we're glad to be here, and you just pull out all the stops and then you just see what happens. Like, it would be amazing if they could do that.
Totally. And you think about it, here's a good question for you. Obviously, last year's defense was an outlier. It was one that you just knew what to expect every single week. But are we a little bit more dangerous this year against top level opponents than we were last year, considering the run game, considering the O-line, considering CJ in the passing game? I think that you can make an argument that we are a little bit more dangerous against these high level opponents, especially when we're getting into the playoff mode.
Very interesting, because the calculation okay, let me see. I like this. I see where you're going. Let me see if I got your calculation right. You don't feel quite as good about the defense, like play to play, series to series of the defense, but you feel like you have an offense that could test good defenses more than you could before, because you're now one dimensional till 3rd and long and you throw it to the tight end. You right. If there's a light box, our 2 running backs are going to kill you. And if you come down to stop them, then Carr theoretically should be able to throw it over you and around you. Notre Dame presents a different, more taxing challenge to defend for sure. Is that where your mind's at?
That's exactly where it's at, and I just feel like the more momentum this season carries, as long as these next 5 games go the way that they should and the way we think that they can, I just think that we're going to be dangerous in the playoffs with Price and Love, just an outstanding running back duo, and then you've got CJ. If he's on his confidence and he's confidence mode and he's cooking, it presents a lot of problems that Notre Dame teams in the past have not been able to present. Yeah. So I just think when you're in that playoff mode, and Freeman has proved it, man, when his back's up against the wall, it's just a different animal. You've been dead on with, he's got to get rid of some of these other losses that he has here and there. But when his back's against the wall, he really gets a team ready to go. And I think this team is going to build some serious confidence heading into November and December.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know, man. It's just, it would be really, really nice if you just had the one loss. Like, if you just found a way to squeak out the A&M one, this whole arrangement would look and feel so different. But there's nothing you could do about it now. You got to win out. And so I got to ask you, how was your stress level in your family watching that game Saturday night?
So I was up in Georgia on vacation in a cabin. So I was locked in by myself. Nobody even understands like my level of passion for this. My dad was also traveling. So Connor was by himself with the boys at the house. So we were kind of all in different little areas, but all in the group chat. Stressful, yes, but it just felt like we had a handle on it. Love, the way Love came out and was running the ball. you just had this sense that they just were not going to let this happen. The environment, the night game, the rain.
Yeah.
You're not letting USC come and win that game.
Yep.
It wasn't super stressful in my eyes.
That is the feel you got. Is Notre Dame's like, some bad stuff's going to happen. Like, we're going to lose momentum at points, but it's not going to happen tonight. We're not losing this game. The resolve in that program impressed me Saturday night.
It did, man. And you go back to the 0-2 thing. Yes, it would have been great to get one of those, but there's a reason that happened. And if that reason is a 10-2 playoff team and maybe a 1-2-3 game playoff win streak, I'm all for it. Like, everything happens for a reason. Freeman, he's got the attention of these guys, and man, let's just finish this the right way, how we can, and give Love, Price, and CJ that chance in the playoff, because I do think that they're gone after this year. They're just playing too damn well. Give us a chance in the playoff. Get us in there. Let us go on the road if we want. That would be kind of cool. Go into it, because we had a home game last year. Go on the road. Play somebody. Play somebody good in the SEC or the Big 12, whoever it may be. But I just think this team deserves it. They just got to go out and earn it. They deserve it, but go out and earn it this last 5 games.
Yeah, in the final thing here, a little bit of perspective. I wrote about this early this morning, actually. When you look at where Notre Dame is and the program is overall, and the little burst of recruiting momentum you're expected to get after this game, and all the stuff you're hearing after USC, and then you look at what's going on around the country, it really does make you kind of appreciate overall Notre Dame's in a really stable spot with a good head coach people like and want to play for and work with, and a stable culture. And because there are some big brand name helmets that are in a really bad spot with no easy way out, it does kind of make you step back and appreciate overall where this is all at.
100%, man. And it really it's a testament to what Freeman has built there. And I think that's a big reason why he immediately told Florida no. I thought that was really cool how it kind of news broke that reached out to him. He just was like, no. He didn't even entertain it for a second. Kelly would have took the meeting, took the calls, just like he did all those years. Anytime they come calling in the offseason, Freeman loves it there. We've been saying it for year after year. He's embraced it. He's a Notre Dame man. We're in a good spot. These other programs that are struggling and just kind of really sketchy, yeah, we started 0-2, but look where we're at. This is a lot more stable than I think that we thought it was after week 3.
Yeah, and man, I could be wrong about this, man. I could be off. It genuinely feels to me like Marcus wants to see this mission through. Like, I don't think he's a guy where money is the end all be all, or his ego is the end all be all. I genuinely feel like Marcus wants to get this done here, and whatever happens after that is going to happen. But it genuinely feels like he is bought into seeing this tear down, rebuild back up all the way through until he gets a statue at one of the entrances. It feels that way, man.
It does. That's how he sells it to the players to come there. And I truly think that he's embodied it himself personally. This is the pinnacle. He got this job at 37 or whatever it was. You're right. I think his goal is that title and that statue, because if he goes and gets one, for dang sure they're going to put one up there of him, just because of how he's embodied everything about the university. The fans love him. The program loves him. The administration loves him. He says and does the right things, and he brings in the right kind of players and people. So I think from just a total overall perspective, he just is the right guy. He's just the right guy for this moment in time for us.
Yeah, it is. Yep. And so I don't know, man, but I am it feels like when you're a kid and it's like Christmas Eve when Notre Dame's in a good spot and then we're off and you get to just relax for a Saturday and watch everybody else stress out all day while we're relaxing. Like, I am so looking forward to this. Hey man, thanks for jumping in today. Really appreciate it.
Anytime, John. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Have a good one. God, what a nice guy to talk to. All right. Brian, New York. A few people have put this in the chat. Great House is gone. Red shirt announcement incoming. I've seen some comments about that. There was question a couple weeks ago. How much of this is injury? How much of this is, I don't know if I want to do this here anymore. and I've seen debates like that on other Notre Dame media shows of where that's all at, there's probably some frustration there about the role and the usage. And I don't know what to say about that. If you're getting passed up because other guys are making plays, you're getting passed up because other guys are making plays. And I don't know what to do with that. And I get that there may be, I could understand some frustration of like, I've been here the whole time, and then like a transfer guy comes in and then my role gets diminished. You see that, not just with wide receiver, but any position. I could see a little frustration of like, I've been here the whole time, and then somebody else comes in, and then I lose some of my stuff. That doesn't feel right to me. I'm sorry, man. But if you got passed up or your snaps are being diminished because somebody else is playing better, then I don't know what to tell you. I understand the frustration on a human level, but like if you get passed up and other guys are making more plays, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, man. So if this happens, you wish him the best of luck and go play somewhere or whatever. So I don't know. I have some really specific thoughts on this. Notre Dame 2689 369. Damn, G fine. Look at this. $20 Josh Miller. Another one of my favorite Notre Dame people. Happy birthday to my wife, Tiffany. Happy birthday to Tiffany as well. But why are you giving me $20? Go give her $20. What are you giving me money for on her birthday? Take her out and buy her a $20 dessert or something. Josh, I love you, man. We're kindred spirits in a weird way. You've always understood my weird Notre Dame wiring. You have always just gotten it and understanded it. Josh, I love you for that, man. You just get it. You just get it. John, pay it forward for your wife's birthday this weekend. Yeah, we're going to go out to eat, but it's like, hey, man, Sunday afternoon seems like a great window to go eat. It just does. It just seems more appealing to me than Saturday. I'm just saying Sunday seems like a good day for this. I'm just throwing that out. I don't know what to think about the Great House thing. I would understand the frustration, but you also got to understand the way this goes, man. And if somebody else making more plays, somebody else making more plays. I don't know. Oh, back to Notre Dame recruiting. Then we'll bring some folks back up here. Back to the Notre Dame recruiting. You know what I really like? When you look at that list of the top guys Notre Dame's in for or whatever, there are some really good wide receivers, top 10 wide receivers in that list, and defensive linemen as well. It's absolutely beautiful. Because if you asked me, John, where are a couple places you would like to see the Notre Dame roster improve and get better with higher echelon talent? I think it would be defensive line wide receiver. And it makes you think about, I can't be the only one who's thought about this. Look at what the portal additions of Fields and Pauling have done to that wide receiver room. Just look at that influx of those two guys, how much they alone have shifted the dynamic of Notre Dame's wide receiver room. And then you have a quarterback that could get the ball out there. And so I love seeing that list of those recruits in it. And there's some really good defensive linemen and really good receivers. And you know how Notre Dame's starting to turn the corner in recruiting? Here's what it used to be. Some of you will understand what I mean. The story used to be Notre Dame would land guys, Kelly era, Weiss era, whatever, even some of the Freeman stuff. You would land a guy and it would be like, that's a good get for Notre Dame. Do you get what I mean by the phrase, that's a good get for Notre Dame? And I want to get away from that's a good get for Notre Dame and get into that's just a nationally really good get. Do you see the difference? Sometimes the bar at wide receiver recruiting was so low, you would land a guy, and it's like, that's a good little gift for Notre Dame because of where we were at. I need you to start getting more of these guys where it's like, yeah, national top 50 player, Notre Dame, check. Wide receiver, check. Defensive lineman, DN, check. Tackle, D tackle, check. Not good guys for Notre Dame, good guys overall, nationally. And here's the other thing. Somebody who follows recruiting closer than me would have a better sense of this than I do. Are there not a lot of unique opportunities for Notre Dame to make moves on recruits where all of this drama is taking place within their programs? Go raid anybody that had Penn State and Notre Dame on the list, or Florida State, or even Florida, or LSU. Is there no overlap there where all these teams are having trouble and drama, and you can move right in and be like, look at our stable culture, let's go? There's opportunities there, and I think you're already seeing it with the Penn State stuff. I think there's a unique opportunity to demonstrate, come over here, we got it rolling. It's stable over here, it's healthy over here, we can showcase you. I think there's going to be some opportunity there. I genuinely do. Tom Frawley, it's good to see you, bro. He was on a Patreon early this morning. Tom, what time do you get up? 4 or 5 in the morning? I was posting stuff early and you were on there and it said 3 hours. Go, do you getting up at 4 or 5 or what, bro? Tom Frawley getting that beauty sleep on the bye week, man. Getting that beauty sleep on the bye week. I don't know. He's doing that on the bye week, and we got problems on the bayou. Tell you that right now. They are not happy. Mangoes, what's going on? Good morning.
Hey, hello. Can you hear me? Check 1, 2.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Awesome. So there's some things I've been wanting to say for a long time. I think right now is good as any because you're riding high. Things are looking good for Notre Dame. On this journey I've been with you guys, it's been really magical seeing what Notre Dame was able to produce. I do want to say this, John. You want to know why I never trolled you after Ohio State won the national championship is because, one, when I was watching your content before I even made contact with you and Always Irish, you always been objective and you seem like you actually talk some sense. Like I agree with broadly a lot what you're saying the past time, and you're just very generous and very nice. Even the first time I came up on here, and you're just very welcoming, And two, I didn't have the heart, even like a friendly troll job was too, because you had to put your dog down. That right there really stings, bro. And I can't do that to you. You seem like a nice, genuine guy, and I just can't do that to you. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you, that ended up maybe working out because I was so drained and miserable from us losing to Ohio State. I had no emotion to give to bring that dog in
Yeah.
it almost worked out in my favor because I was so drained and on empty and my brain was fried. My emotions were fried. It almost took the edge off of having to bring that dog in and get her put down the next day after we lost the title, dude. It almost worked out in my favor now that I look at it in retrospect. Thank you for the kind words, by the way. And I want to say that's the number one thing I'm most proud about at these tailgates. All the people coming up and saying they feel welcome, they feel like they're invited and they belong, and they feel like they know the people there because people kind of know me, whether you met me in person or not, you know me. Like, that's my favorite part about doing all this. I just love the Irish people, man.
Yeah. At first everybody, was like, oh God, this Ohio State fan, get him off, cancel him, get him out of here. And now you guys are, starting to build a little trust that I'm not here to troll. I'm actually a genuine, passionate college football guy. I played football in high school in Florida. My dad played football in Ohio. My grandfather played football in Ohio. Football's in my blood. I played Tim Tebow's high school in the state playoffs in 2006. I love football. It's a big thing. And I'm glad, let me put it in respect. Like I can sound like a Notre Dame fan because I've been following you guys and I know you guys pretty well at this point. I just want to put a perspective in, you look at Joel Klatt, for an example, and the way he talks about Ohio State the last few years. He talks like an Ohio State fan, but he's not an Ohio State fan. He loves college football. You know what I mean? So like what I am basically to you guys is like the Joel Klatt of Notre Dame, so to speak, because I see a lot of great things, like your offense has gotten better. Your defense, yeah, your passing, like I said the last few weeks, that your passing defense is questionable. But the thing, what offsets that is that you guys have 13 interceptions with 120 return yards. That's elite level. And the only team in college right now in the country that's ahead of you guys in interceptions is 14, and that's Maryland. They have 14 interceptions. So you guys are basically waking up on defense. And as far as Jay Carr, you guys were talking about his progression in as a quarterback, and it seems like he's kind of regressing a little bit. And I heard Pat talking about like, well, there's film on him and there's status now that where they know how to build a game plan against him. Well, this is a really good time for him to have that moment since your defense is stepping up. Now the roles of the sides of the football are reversed, where at the beginning of the season your freshman quarterback is taking the mantle of the leadership of the team, putting in the weight of the team on his shoulders. And now you're seeing that regressing a little bit where Jay Love is coming in. He just dog walks the defense. At the same time, your defense is stepping up. 4 interceptions against someone who, was in the contention for the Heisman. And the Heisman is, right now there's a unique dynamic happening, and I'll share more in the future because my time is limited here. But what I'm just getting at, you guys are waking up, and that last caller that was on before me, like I agree with him largely that you guys right now are going on playoff mode right now because, it's important that you guys win. And one caller a few weeks ago, she said that one aspect that we keep overlooking is covering the spread. Now that's covering the spread equals style points equal appeal to the eye. And long as you guys just eviscerate teams like Boston College, Navy, you guys are going to get in. Build that up. And in my opinion, if I'm Marcus Freeman, I'm throwing the playbook at Boston College. I'm letting it rip. I'm going to try to stack points and build up good look, what's looked good for the playoff committee and destroy everything in your way. You're guaranteed to get that. And the SEC is going to be a slaughterhouse the next few weeks. It's absolutely going to be atrocious. And there's so much more I like to say, but I think that's like the time I have to, share my nonsense with you.
Let me ask you one question on the way out. You don't even have to get into it. I just want an outside, a non-Notre Dame fan's perspective on this. Mm-hmm. Do you believe 10-2 Notre Dame is in the playoff no matter what the 10-2 looks like? Or do you think they got to blow people out and then catch a bunch of breaks? What do you think the reality is for Notre Dame at 10-2? They get there? Should they get there? I'm not banking on 5 wins, just rolling the ball out there. I'm just saying theoretically, since you're not a Notre Dame guy by nature, I want to know your thought.
Objectively, I would say 10-2 would get you in the playoffs. I would say that, and you have to, that's what I'll get at. If you want to take out the style points, objectively, they ought to be in the playoffs. And you don't know what monkey wrenches is going to come your guys' way of what is going to be said to keep you guys out of it. But you guys go 10-2, and you do it a convincing way. There's no doubt that Notre Dame is getting in. You guys are ranked 12, and you got a bunch of top teams in front of you. It's going to have some really tough competition. You got Georgia at Georgia Tech at week 14. You got Vanderbilt hosting Missouri. Then you got LSU taking on 2 teams that is above you. And I'm sorry, but you guys are going to hate me for saying this, but you do want LSU to beat these teams so they can go down on the rankings and you guys go up in the rankings. Texas A&M and Alabama, and those 2 teams have Heisman candidate quarterbacks, Ty Simpson in Alabama, Marcel Reed in Texas A&M. They both are running for the Heisman, and Georgia has Gunnar Stockton for running for the Heisman. So you want those teams to lose, so it kind of looks less good on them and look better on you guys when you're eviscerating other teams.
Yeah, it's it's going to be an interesting race. The season's gone by quick. I'm going to enjoy the off week. Hey, man, thanks for being around. I'll see you. Have a good Wednesday.
Always Irish. Thank you.
Good. Have a good one. I got to tell you guys, some of you guys are really, really tough on our non-Notre Dame people that are here all the time. You got to understand from my perspective, how much I respect the people that are not Notre Dame fans as their number one team that want to be here every day. I know people give Kent a hard time, and on Patreon, people are giving Mangoes a hard time. It means the world to me to have these people that aren't even Notre Dame as their number one team but want to be here every day. That guy pays for the Patreon. He's not even a Notre Dame fan. It means the world to me to have people like that around. So I know the frustration. We want it to be all of our people, but like, give them a break. Tom, $5 holler. The Notre Dame season going by fast. Let's hope that defense can keep kicking ash. I see what you did there. Now, here's the other funny thing. $50 holler here. Right when he mentioned her last call, this came through. It's wild. It's wild to me. Right when he mentioned, that she called and she's the only one who calls that fits the she description, and then this came through. It's wild. $50 holler, just Endiga. Rewatched. Showed toughness I missed among the offensive weirdness. Unreal how Marcus kept the team together on a wacky day in a kooky game. Proud, grateful, and Billy Shrout is a king, especially at preventing USC timeout. Love and Price Doll. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's that is fantastic. Look at this. Chicago's very own Tom Frawley. What's up?
Well, hello there. Sorry about my tardiness. I had a bunch of conference calls this morning, so had to take care of business first. Have to pay the bills. Listen, I watched the by the way, kudos to you, John. That was a great party on Saturday. It was great to meet your family. Your mom and dad are super people. It was great to meet Phil and Rodney and Ryan Roll and everybody. That was a gas. It was one of the best times I've ever had down at Notre Dame. So thanks again for setting all that up.
Tom, it was the funniest thing to me is, I'm doing my thing, running my mouth, whatever, and all the shuttle buses are going by, and I just hear somebody going, "Oh, it's Irish, John Kennedy," and I look, and there's Tom Frawley hanging out the window of the bus like an 8th grader on a field trip.
Yes.
You're like, John Kennedy, always Irish. I'll be there in a minute. It was so funny because there you are looking like a kid on a field trip.
It's funny where we're driving up and that point on the Indiana Toll Road where you can start to see St. Mary's and then you see the dome. And I said, "Oh, there's the dome." And Donnie, my buddy that was with me, goes, "What are you, 6?"
Yeah, I know. It was great. So, and man, I'm telling you, we had the energy on campus, man. That is what you love about Notre Dame. But there was a vibe, there was an energy. In a weird way, the questionable weather almost added to the vibe. Like, everybody's here, rain or shine, we're here to beat USC. Like, it was a special weekend in Notre Dame land. It really was, and I cherish it. It was a special weekend.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I had some. I was watching a few players very closely Saturday night, and one of the players was Billy Shrout. And early on, and we saw that they had even after Jeremiah Love broke the first 65-yard run, it looked like they were the left side of the line with Billy Shrout. I mean, the whole line played great, but Billy, boy, is he a man's man. And, when he got hurt early in the game, that's not where he really got hurt. He got hurt with 3:28 left on the clock. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where he really injured it. And we didn't know that. I saw him go off the field at the end of the game, and I was like, I wonder if that's residual. But that's when I watched it again last night, that's where he really damaged it because he twisted it and the guy fell over him and, he bent the wrong way. And I was like, oh, boy. So, I think worst case scenario is 6 weeks they're talking about.
Ooh, man.
I don't know if I don't know if we're going to get Jagasaw back at all. I really don't know.
Yeah, and you know what else, Tom? The Rubio thing is worse than people originally thought. And
Yes.
it's like he might be out until maybe you had a playoff game. Like, so it's a war of attrition when you get to this part of the year.
There's no question. But thank God Sullivan Absher and Joe Otting are able to step up. They're still better than most. And you know, just to keep that, I just want to see them all come together. This is your get well weeks, right? So get well during the bye week, and then you take on a very disorganized, it looks like, and a bad Boston College team. I guess their starting quarterback got benched, so it's kind of a get well week, and you start putting your things together. You got to look at these as like each one of them is a playoff game. They can't let down. And then like the caller before, he's a great caller, by the way. He talking about the schedules of Georgia Tech, Texas A&M, and Miami. If you see Texas A&M schedule, that's a landmine going out. So there'll be chaos with Texas A&M. Georgia Tech has to play. It's basically Syracuse, Boston College, and Pitt, and then they've got Georgia, the grudge match at the end of the game. So that's going to be interesting to see who's going to wind up in the ACC championship game. And then we've got, you know, we got to cheer for Miami, and hopefully they stay undefeated the rest of the year. And we've got, I don't know what else to do, but it doesn't look like Georgia or Texas A&M will survive undefeated the rest of the season. So do we have a chance? I think there's still a great path to get to the playoff, but I'm starting to hear mixed emotions from all the talking heads. So last night, the ESPN college football show, they didn't have Notre Dame even ranked in the top 12. So it's like, okay, all right, I see what they're doing. Again, I don't know how you're going to, if Notre Dame goes out and does what they're supposed to do for the rest of the season, I don't know how you keep that offense and Notre Dame. The brand, they'll deserve to have been there. How do you keep that offense out of the playoffs? People are going to want to see that.
Yeah, and I think the committee can always lean on. I know Notre Dame has 2 losses, but they're playing as one of the best 12 teams now on a 10-game winning streak. Like they could use that angle. But I think, Tom, chaos is coming. There's always teams that lose.
Yep.
You don't think they will when you get into November. Tom, you'll know this from years of Notre Dame.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Kelly had a problem sometimes. Running out of gas in late November was an issue for him before they redid the strength and the conditioning and
Yes.
the nutrition. Some teams peak heading into late November and other teams fade. And sometimes you get some surprise losses. It's coming. Chaos.
Oh yeah. And God knows what LSU is going to do the rest of the season. So this is going to be interesting. Listen, thanks for everything again, John. I appreciate it. I love the show. I love you guys. Go Irish. And we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one, Tom. Thanks for stopping by. Man, it was so great when that dude was on that bus. He was like a 6th grader on a field trip. He had his head. It was a regular yellow school bus. And I think he was in the last row. And I just hear always Irish, all these buses. He's got his head all the way out the window. I'll be over there in a minute. And the other thing is, Tom Frawley's one of the guys everyone's asked to meet in person. I'm so glad he was finally able to get there live for one of the tailgates. We've been missing each other. We were both at the Indiana game, but weren't able to meet up. It was just great getting Tom over in the mix, man. Everybody loves the guy. Everybody loves him. Terrence, what's up, bro? What up?
What's up? How you doing, John?
I'm doing good, man. I need this off week. That's how I'm doing. I need the break, man. I'm being honest. I need the breather.
Notre Dame needs the off week as well, man. I mean, hey, I wish we could have went at least 1-1 in the first two games, but that's okay, man. It look like they're hitting their stride now, man. It look like that defense is back.
Man, are you starting to believe again? Like the heat on Ash is going down. You're starting to get a little belief in the defense, or are you still on high alert?
I don't believe it's Ash. I believe that Marcus Freeman took this defense over, man.
Okay, so you're on that. Well, whatever they're doing, they're getting better results, and the guys seem to be reacting.
Yeah, man. It look like they.
Uh-oh. We got some car signal issues here. Car signals issue, man. Sorry about that. You cut out completely on me. Cut out completely. Try again. There we go. Do I got you back? No, I don't. You're frozen in time. Adam, what's up? Good morning.
Good morning, John. How are we, buddy?
Thoroughly enjoying a well-needed break from the week-to-week football grind. I am really enjoying this week.
I feel like my blood pressure, like everything is just, I don't feel tense. I don't feel nervous. I'm just kind of like, all right, let the chaos, resume, and we can just sit back, relax, and get healthy.
Yeah, man, that is exactly where I'm at. Kent, that's funny. Anyway, sorry, Terrence, man, you froze up on me in space and time. So yeah, Adam, that's where I'm at. I feel like the Notre Dame program needs and deserves a break after all the emotion that went into the USC event, like not even game, but the event of the full weekend with the recruiting and the weather and the drama, and we might not play him anymore, and USC, Notre Dame, all of that. I think everyone in Notre Dame Nation needs a little break. In fact, that was the title of my article I wrote this morning for SI. Everybody needs this. It's healthy. Clear your mind, clear your body, and get ready for this final grind and watch some really interesting football on Saturday. Stress-free.
Yeah, for sure. And, before Tom, the gentleman who called before Tom Frawley, he was speaking about how Notre Dame fans didn't want to hear it, but we needed these teams in front of us to lose, and spoke about Texas A&M losing, and I completely disagree. We need Texas A&M to keep winning. If LSU were to beat Texas A&M, LSU right now is sitting at 20. That's going to jump them up in the polls, and then it's another SEC team to deal with on top of a team that already beats us and has us on the head-to-head. So, there's certain strategies here that you really have to look at and think to yourself, like, yes, nobody wants Miami to win, but we need them to win and not have a second loss because of the fact that they then have the tiebreaker. And if you have multiple ACC teams, or in the case of the other guy with talking about Texas A&M, there are going to be maybe 4 or 5, I don't even know, maybe even 6 SEC teams that could go 10-2. And it's stressful as far as like that goes for a Notre Dame fan. And if one of them's Texas A&M, that's not good. You want them to be a clear favorite. You want them in the SEC championship undefeated. And then if they win that, great. If they lose it, that's fine too. But if they're sitting around in the regular season with 2 losses, that doesn't bode well for us.
Yeah, it's and with the LSU A&M thing you're looking at, obviously, if Kelly beat A&M, right, then that knocks them down. Our 2 teams we lost to are no longer undefeated. Man, this is not a shot at Kelly personally. I take a lot of those, but I have a hard time seeing Kelly beating A&M, Alabama, and Oklahoma the way that LSU's been playing. With all that left, I have a hard time seeing them not at least get to 3 losses and knocked out. Like whether it's A&M or not, I have a hard time seeing that. I really do.
I completely agree, because even if they do pull off the winner here, I've been in Baton Rouge on those Saturday night games, LSU, Alabama, and it is a whole different animal. I mean, it is incredible. Regardless of who the coach is, the fan base, the way they get up for these things. You got 100,000 inside the stadium, and you got another 100,000 outside the stadium, still tailgating throughout the game. And it's a crazy atmosphere. So if they were to pull off that W and beat Texas A&M, one, I don't think that's good for us in any stretch of the imagination. Two, Brian Kelly gets a W, which I don't want. And then three, it creates this narrative of Kelly coming up in the polls. But I do agree with you that, okay, you still got Oklahoma, Alabama, like all these different games, they will get punched back. And I do think they're going to have a third, if not a fourth loss, man. When things start unraveling, it, it just kind of happens, you know? So I could see them pulling off that third for sure, if not another fourth.
It's man, I got a feeling, especially with the expanded nature of the new SEC, I think November's going to have a lot of those teams beating each other up every week, catching their first, second, third losses. Like you're going to get into that November stretch, and I just see a lot of teams beating the hell out of each other. And if Notre Dame could just keep their head down and keep winning, we just see where it all lines up.
Completely agree. And with the new format and the way these teams have jumped conferences, I mean, Oklahoma and Texas going into the SEC, it makes it even worse for them. It makes it even harder for the SEC to sit there and choose who it is that they, are going to have in based upon their scheduling. And now that they're going to have 9 conference games, it's going to become harder and harder for them. And I think the interesting thing is the SEC and Big Ten at the beginning before the season even started. And you remember the commissioners going back and forth, and they're all having these meetings about the playoffs and how many teams they're going to get in and what format they want to go for and all this stuff. And it's like, you guys are pigeonholing yourselves because yes, you might get a bunch of teams that are, 10-2 or even a 9-3 that might maybe kind of deserve it based upon the other landscape, but you will be leaving some of your teams out and they're not going to be happy with that. And so I could see this unraveling again. And then it goes back to the formats of the yesteryear, right? Where you have the Big 12 is bolstered back up. Maybe even the Pac-10, Pac-12 comes back. I mean, because there's just going to be too many teams that you want to see in the playoffs that are not going to be able to be in there based upon the amount of good teams that you have all in one conference.
Yeah, it's an interesting new dynamic. And then you know what's probably coming next is an expansion to 16. And then we'll
I
all be
know.
asking who the 17th team is that
I
thinks they
know.
deserve it and gets left out, right? Like that's where it looks like this is all headed.
And
then
if it
it'll be
was
like, well, who's 17?
exactly, John. And then here we are, right? And then who would
Yeah.
it be? It'd be between Tennessee and South Florida. I mean, it's like, okay, cool. Like it just keeps going and going. It just doesn't stop. And I mean, even the NFL schedule, I remember my son asked me the other day, like, oh, well, what was so the 49ers in 85 or whatever, were they 17-0 in the regular season? I'm like, 17. I'm like, I think they only played like 14 games. Like, it's just things continuously expand. It used to be 12, then it goes to 14, then 16. It's the now 17 regular season games in the NFL. Same thing in college. They want to expand it even more so. And here we are. And a lot of it obviously is money driven and entertainment driven, and we get that. But at the same time, the difference between the NFL and the college, which I've brought this up before, is that these are a lot of them 18, 19, and 20-year-old kids. You do have your 21, 22s and Chris Winkies at 25s every once in a while. But the point is that the majority of them are kids. They still have school to deal with and handle. So I don't know. It's just, I think everybody's got to be a little bit careful on how much we want. Is what I was thinking.
Yeah, it is. Man, this is just going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. And where Notre Dame slots
Still got you,
in
John?
here. Yep, I still got you. You flashed for a second. I got you. Can you hear me? Ooh, got a little a face shot there. We're figuring out the technology here. Do I got you? Well, it can't be perfect every time. Jay Anderson, you're going to come up if you want. Unmute yourself, Jay Anderson. I appreciate you guys being willing to try the new deal here with the digital, the StreamYard stuff. Jay Anderson, you're coming up. Andrew, let me address this. The Bee Cave session 4 years later is over the top. Reminds me of a buddy who had a bitter divorce, remarried, but still talks about his ex. Get over it. I'm going to tell you this. My issue now isn't really Brian Kelly. I resent the way the LSU media and fans spoke about Notre Dame and us in their journey to get Brian Kelly. And those are different things. Those are different things. So it isn't for me just all about Brian Kelly anymore. I have a personal problem with the way the LSU contingent handled this. That's personal with me. And that's not really Brian Kelly, but it's the LSU media and fans, the whole like, you're a little tiny program that doesn't matter. We're a big boy in the SEC. We take what we want, and you're going to fall apart at Notre Dame without Kelly. And all he's got to do is get on campus, and he's going to be an elite winner here. And little old Notre Dame, we took your boyfriend. That whole vibe. That's personal to me. And that's not necessarily about Brian Kelly. So that's where I'm at with this. And it's a little different, right? That's a personal thing of them saying to me 4 years ago, you're an idiot. You don't know football. You're a moron for being glad Kelly's leaving. And once he gets here, it's going to be elite and we stole your man. I take that personally. That's a shot at my football intelligence. So that's where I'm at. That's fair, but a lot of people hate watch Kelly. Well, I do that too. And some try and rewrite history at Notre Dame, which is disrespectful. You gotta have this be balanced, man. You gotta have this be balanced. You can respect and appreciate a lot of the good that Brian Kelly did at Notre Dame. I think sometimes people forget how down this program was when Kelly came in. This program was in a terrible spot when Brian Kelly came in, and there was a lot of grind work behind the scenes that had to be done. And Brian Kelly did a lot of that doesn't make headlines, and it's dirty work behind the scenes to get your program up a level. You can respect a lot of what Kelly did to get the culture and the program to a certain point, and then say it was time to move on, and he still treated people like crap and didn't work hard enough in recruiting, and all that stuff could be true. But my problem is the specific LSU media people and fans that were telling me I am a total idiot who doesn't know anything about football for being happy Kelly left. And I genuinely meant it. I felt that the marriage was over. It was stale. You're staying for the kids, all that stuff. All that stuff. But I've had long, ongoing 4-year battles on Twitter and YouTube with some of these LSU people that were certain that they stole our man. Notre Dame was going to crumble. LSU would be great. And the angle that bothered me was that Notre Dame was holding back Kelly and that Kelly wasn't holding back Kelly. And this has been a 4-year battle I've had with some of these fans and media members at LSU. And that's personal to me. So when he gets his third loss, I already have a video recorded and I'm hitting publish and it isn't nice and I don't care. I don't care. So, but this has been a football credibility battle for me for 4 years of who's right or wrong about Brian Kelly. So if he gets his third loss, whenever it is, A&M, Alabama, whatever, I'm hitting publish and something that's probably going to ruffle some feathers is going out. Already recorded. It's sitting there. Just need a reason to hit publish. So that's where I'm at. I'm petty like Tom, and I do not apologize for it. I don't apologize for it. but you're insulting my football intelligence when you tell me I don't know anything they were saying to me that I was lying, that I was happy Kelly was gone. They thought that we were lying. How could anybody be happy Brian Kelly's leaving? How could a Notre Dame fan be happy Brian Kelly's leaving? They couldn't understand it. They couldn't understand. They thought I was lying when I said I was glad that he left, and it's the best thing that could happen for the future of Notre Dame right now, and probably for Kelly too. So it's personal to me that I end up on the right side of this argument of saying you could change where the man recruits. You could change the helmet. You could change all of that. You can't change the man. You can't change the man. And that's always been the argument. So I want to end up on the right side of this just for my own credibility. So I don't know. Now, how would this take a different tone if Notre Dame hired somebody else and it didn't work? I'm open to that. Like, what if you hired Fickle and he Wisconsin's it at Notre Dame? Right? Like, some of this, I do admit, it looks better because Freeman's won some big games, made it to the playoff run and all that. But like, if you Wisconsin Fickled yourself in Notre Dame instead, maybe you're having a different discussion. But I wanted to prove Brian Kelly's Brian Kelly, and he's always going to Brian Kelly. And the LSU people thought, well, we're LSU. And the second that he walks on campus, all of those warts and all the things they're all gone because we're LSU and it's the SEC. Everything will be perfect. So, whatever, man. That's where I'm at. But I give Kelly credit for doing a lot of hard work, especially early at Notre Dame. And then later on, he got you to a pretty consistent high level. I just don't think guys like Franklin and Kelly have that extra gear it factor. I just don't think they have that little it factor that gets a good team over the top. And there's plenty of evidence year after year after year of both of those guys in the big game moments and those records. That's a lot of years. It doesn't just change. So I don't know, man. What do I know? I don't know. I'm just a guy in his basement. Jay Anderson, what's up?
Hey, John. Hey, I don't know if you've talked to anybody yet that was actually at the game Saturday night. But yeah, I was there, brought my brother-in-law, and I got to say, I've been to 10 Notre Dame games in my life. That was probably a top 1 or 2 as far as the atmosphere. And I sound a little hoarse. It's Wednesday, and my voice is still hoarse from Saturday night.
Now, okay, let me ask you this. In a weird way, the weather was inconvenient, but sometimes it ends up kind of giving the crowd a different energy because everybody knows it's not ideal. Everybody's soaking wet, and you're like, the hell with it. We're all doing this. Let's go crazy together.
Yes, exactly.
Does that vibe make sense that sometimes that, like, it influxes this new energy of like, well, the hell with it. We're all wet together. Let's go crazy. Did you feel that?
Definitely. And I'd say the vibe or the energy was in the stadium was almost waiting for that rain to come because we knew we're made for smash mouth football.
Yeah.
And USC, University of Spoiled Children coming from LA, they're going to freeze their butts off. And what are they going to do when they can't have the passing game rolling, So I think we were waiting for that. And then now we're all miserable in the rain and we're all having a great time. And everybody stayed for the alma mater, it seemed like, after we won the game. So it was just an incredible atmosphere environment. And I hope my voice is still hoarse today.
Once we get the win and you can relax with that, then you start to think of the second level of this, which is the show Notre Dame put on for all of those top recruits that were there. And it's like, what a great showcase for all those players to have that vibe and that energy against that team and to see the fans get into it and everything. Like, what a beautiful Notre Dame weekend, even though the weather was.
Exactly. It honestly, it was best case scenario. I mean, even the weather, I feel like, because recruits got a little bit of a taste of what it's going to be like, but also how everybody kind of rallies around and embraces what South Bend weather is. I know it's not November yet, but still. But I also, my second point I wanted to make was I think obviously the bye week's a good time to reflect on how we got here, middle of the season. And I think I'm weird to where I think I'm a little more pissed off about Miami specifically now. The fact that Jeremiah Love only got 10 touches in the game and Jadarian Price only got 6. I know it's a terrible way to think back, but I just keep thinking to myself, we got the 2 best backs in the country and they had 16 touches. If we could have just let them get some rhythm, we could be sitting here. I mean, should be 7-0, let's be honest, but at least 6-1, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a little frustrating that Notre Dame took a while to figure some things out, navigating the new quarterback, navigating the defense. The A&M game still haunts me, man. I believe Miami earned that win and played a good game and beat you, but I really have a problem with the way we let A&M escape with the win. And that one bothers me, but there's nothing you can do about it now. You got 5 more games you got to win. And dare the committee to keep 10-2 Notre Dame out. That's all you can do.
Exactly. I think I said this in the chat. These last 5 games here, I think could be very crucial for 2 different things. One, I think Jadarian Price said something in the post-game presser on Saturday about, we've been trying to get Jay Love 200 yards for, the whole season. He finally got it on Saturday night. I think, one, if we actually want to try to push this Jeremiah Love Heisman, we could totally do that here these last 5 games. Just keep handing that dude the ball, let him go crazy, for one. And number 2, I think we can really let CJ Carr, who's had a little bit of up and down the last couple games, really gain some confidence these last 5 weeks. And then if we get in the playoffs, his confidence is sky high. Of course, he's probably going to have some freshman moments in the playoff. Who knows? But at least we can iron most of those out these last 5 games and have him super confident going into a playoff potentially.
Yeah, it's man, and it's really interesting when you talk about that Heisman thing for Love. Number one is, I think it's hard for running backs to win it, generally speaking. You're on a team that had 2 losses. It wasn't getting a lot of attention in the middle part of the year after the 2 losses, out of sight, out of mind nationally. And the other thing is, JD Price gets a lot of touches and a lot of yards. So, it's a really interesting dynamic when you piece that all together and how all those things interplay together.
Right. And I also think the whole Heisman push, even if I'm not saying he's going to win it because that's very hard. We know that. Even if he's sitting in New York, whatever night that is that they do the Heisman ceremony, right? If he's sitting there, I think that also helps Notre Dame's case for making the playoff. Again, not that, we still have our brand that's going to help us a little bit. But if we have a Heisman front runner, they're more likely going to put us in the playoff because, he's exciting and people want to watch this dude play.
Man, that's a really, really good point. That's the kind of thing that the committee can't admit, but maybe in their brain. You know what I mean?
Right.
Along with the value the Notre Dame brand brings to TV and butts in seats and travel and clickbait and everything else that comes with Notre Dame being in the tournament. Sometimes it's good to be Notre Dame and have your brand and your history and all that. Sometimes there's a benefit to that.
It sure is, right? When Notre Dame's good, that's good for college football. When we have good players, that's great for college football.
Let me ask you this. Now, everybody knows I didn't go into the game. I was there tailgating and then left and drove back in the storm to be able to do the show. So I didn't go in the game. But I got to say, man, walking around campus, I did not see a lot of USC people at all. I was genuinely surprised by the lack of USC people I saw in a year where they were entering the game feeling pretty good about themselves. Was that your experience where you were tailgating and then in the stadium? I barely saw any groups of red all day.
Yeah, I'd say I don't know if it was the weather that scared these people off or if they're all just wearing ponchos and jackets and stuff, then we couldn't see their USC wearing it proud or what. But that was pretty much our experience too, is we didn't see a whole lot of USC red and gold much of anywhere. Even in the stadium, they were hard to pick out. I know they had their little band cheering at the top of the stadium by the Jumbotron, but that was about it.
Yeah, and what a good place to put their band, right by the
Yeah.
Jumbotron, right by a 9,000-foot loud-ass Jumbotron. I like
Right.
it. See, I like Notre Dame being petty with things like that, or the 2-foot wide visitors tunnel they recently created. I like that.
Yeah.
When they told Purdue to keep your big-ass drum in West Lafayette. I love when Notre Dame gets petty with little things like this.
It is fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of that, and I did love the chippiness, the Jeremiah Love getting in kids' faces after every tough nose run.
Yep.
You know, the guys after the game getting in a little scuffle, whatever that was. You know, I
yeah.
just love that when we're playing with that edge and that chip on our shoulder that
Yep.
Nobody's going to come in here and push us around. We're Notre Dame, and we're going to let you know about it.
Yeah, it is. And you know what, man? Goolsby talks about this all the time. The change in mentality in the program with Freeman, letting these guys kind of be themselves, come out of their shells, have that little extra gear, that edge to them, a little extra after a play, a little chippiness, a little chirping backed up by play. Like, there's a new energy around here that you didn't have even with the better, higher level Kelly teams. There is an extra edge here. And I think that it matters in college football that you have that.
Definitely. No, I agree 100%. Guys are playing with confidence. I mean, they're playing freely and with confidence, and we're pretty good when we do that. So but John, that's really all I had. I'm gonna hop off here.
I gotta ask this. What do you think? What's on your mind for Texas A&M LSU? What do you want to see happen here?
I would love. Well, fan wise, I think it'd be fun for a shootout, and I think that's what it's probably going to be. Because I don't think Texas A&M's defense is very good, but we know their offense is explosive. But deep down, I would love to see A&M go in there and just boat race LSU in Tiger Stadium. Would be amazing.
And see, that's a tough place to play. LSU's home field at night is a very, very tough place to play. And even Brian Kelly has a good record there at night. Right. So this would be a big, I mean, that would make losing this game hurt a lot more. Right. So we'll see, man. I mean, maybe Kelly pulls it off and saves this season. And then I think they have a bye week, and then they play Alabama, I believe, after that is the schedule, I think.
Oh yeah, they're those SEC teams just gonna keep eating each other alive. I mean, we're just gonna sit back and watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really interesting. Well, hey man, thanks for touching base, and I'm glad you were able to be there and experience the game. It was worth getting wet for.
Yes, it sure was. It sure was. Thanks, John. I appreciate the time. Go Irish.
Good one, man. Have a good Wednesday. Take care, buddy. How much time you got, buddy? I'm concerned about Miami. What's the state of their locker room after Beck blamed the wide receiver for the interception at the end? I don't know. You either wanted Miami to run it undefeated with leave no doubt, run it undefeated, or now I guess you want them to. Losing 2 doesn't do you nothing. Do you need them to lose 3? If they're going to lose 2, you kind of need them to lose 3 so you could move ahead of them, even though the head-to-head you have 1 less loss. But then I don't know, man. Can Miami avoid the November they had last year where they were leaking oil to the finish line and everything went down for them? Can they avoid that this year? I don't know. It's a big question. Yeah, Tom says there's usually a large USC contingent in Chicago and South Bend. They didn't travel well this season. Yeah, all the other Notre Dame USC home games I've been to, I remember seeing way more USC people than I did for this one. Maybe they looked at the weather, but the thing with that is, if you're literally coming from California, you have to lock up, plane travel, rent a car, whatever, where you're going to stay, get your tickets, do all that months in advance. Do you look at the weather and then what? Just cancel all of that? Can you even get your money back for all of that crap that they would have had to pay for ahead? Do all that months ahead of time, and then 2 days before you look at the weather report, you're like, nope, we're not doing that. It just kind of feels like that's far-fetched, but I didn't see it. happy to report. I barely saw any USC people, so I don't know. Whatever, man. It's probably because they all pledged their money to the NIL. Yeah, whatever. All summer, Lincoln Riley was telling their media, whenever the defensive front came up, Lincoln Riley was telling the media, we're different in there. We're different. We're looking. It looks different. It feels different. We're different in there. They went into the portal. They got a bunch of bulk. They wanted to get bigger up there. You got problems, man. You got problems. You gave up 900 yards rushing in Notre Dame Stadium. You have an issue. Hotel prices are insane. Better off waiting for last-minute deals. Bro, sometimes I would just like to stay in South Bend and drive home Sunday morning. But the hotels cost for one night what rent is in an apartment for a month for a Notre Dame home game. So it's like the hell with it. A bunch of those people just take the Skyway back to Chicago and get home at 2 a.m. rather than pay $800 for a night to stay in luxurious South Bend. Give me a break on a son of a buck. Yeah, Airbnb isn't what it used to be either. Like, it used to be like, wow, I could stay in something kind of private and save a little money over a hotel room, right? So then now they do that. And then the cleaning fee's like $200. It's like, bro, what? It's like $100 to stay in this place for the night. And you're like, what a good deal. Then you look at the extra fees, cleaning fee, $250. Or to what? Yeah, bro, Airbnb's falling off, dude. It's falling off. All right, you guys, this was a good, fun show. Thanks, everybody, for being here. A little lower stress here with Notre Dame not playing. I thank everybody for being here. I thank your comments. I thank the people for being willing to journey out with the new technology, figuring out how to use the link to join. It means the world to me. You guys are flexible. We'll see if this remains or we go back or maybe we do a blend. I'm still trying to figure that out. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being on the Patreon. Love you guys. Have a good day.